Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. This is our Liverpool versus Manchester City live stream watch along. I've decided to do it. Look, I'm going to watch it anyway. I'm going to be watching it through gritted teeth if it's a really good game. These are the inevitable things that are going to happen. So I may as well watch it with a load of people that I can interact with as well. So yeah, we're going to do it. That's the way it's going to be. I hope you feel better, Mad Marcus. It's 20 times. Yes, I was hoping he might have joined me today, but he's obviously still ill. He can't stand up to it like me and Lemsip. But Chelsea are winning 2-0. Like water is wet. Morata just missed a one-on-one. But, you know, in the context of the wider thing, and that's what That's Football's all about. You know, as a United fan, I watched us get 3 big points yesterday. But, you know, we struggled to win against the team in the bottom 3. You've got Arsenal with a new manager going to Fulham, who I think are a good team, and smashing them 5-1. You've got Chelsea going to Southampton and comfortably winning 2-0. And then, obviously, we've got Liverpool versus Man City playing against each other in a few minutes' time. Well, half an hour's time. But it just shows you that, especially with Chelsea and Arsenal, you've got 2 managers there that are new into the job. And I must always say that when Jose Mourinho came into the job at Manchester United, we did start off the season quite well. The last 2 seasons we've started off quite well. But we weren't in this position where Sarri is and where Emery is with Chelsea and Arsenal, where they're winning a lot of games. They're winning a lot of games and they're playing very, very good football. And I don't want to leave Spurs out of it as well. As It's Your Guy 101 says, you know, Spurs are consistent as well. They've got themselves up there. But you know what? I mean, you know, look at the league table. Look at the league table, and it doesn't lie. It can't lie. It's factual, and I mean, it's not just the fact that Manchester United are 8 points behind. Well, potentially going to be 8 points off the title, maybe 9 points off the title if one of them win today. But they're currently 5 points off Arsenal, 5 points off Spurs. There will be 7 points off Chelsea. And that's a lot of points. That's a lot of points at this point. And that's a lot of saying the word point. But it is. But the more important thing for United is that, you know, winning the game yesterday was obviously very, very, very important. But it's the manner of the way that other teams are playing. And I said this earlier as well, that when I look at Chelsea, when I look at Arsenal, when I look at Liverpool, when I look at Spurs, when I look at Man City, 5 teams there. Even when I look at Wolves as well, I see a team that knows what it's all about week in, week out. They've got a philosophy and they've got an attitude that they want to win the game of football in front of them, playing their way. When I see Manchester United under Jose Mourinho, I never know what 11 he's going to pick. I never know what his tactics are going to be. And it is constantly like that with him. So that is a big, big issue as well. I thought there was going to be a sending off there for Danny Ings for Southampton. Went in quite late. Should it have been a red? No, I think he took the ball, to be fair. On Kovacic. I'll tell you what, Chelsea, Manchester United in a couple of weeks. I can't wait for that. I mean, I can't wait for it anyway because I want the international break ding-dang done. But I can't wait for that game. It's the first one, isn't it? It's a Saturday lunchtime kickoff. And you know what? For all these floating fans of United who think that maybe we can get back and, you know, do things, well, that's the game they're going to have to do it, innit? Yes, please share the link. Thanks everybody who was sending me messages saying please do the watch along. Southampton should have scored there. I am struggling a little bit with my throat, so there might be times where I just need to be a little bit quiet. But in reality, I would be sat watching this game anyway. So I'm happy to do it with all and happy to interact with you all. And look, I watch football. I like football. You like football. That's the way it goes. Chelsea are going to smash us, Mark, says Remy. Prediction time, Anvish. My prediction in this game is that I think it will be 3-2 to Liverpool. I just think... Chapo's just asked that as well. When is the Wales versus Spain watch along? I might do an international game, Tom Gray. I'll have a look at that in a moment. But I just think that this is going to sound ridiculous, and so much so that this is an exclusive on this stream, because I wouldn't even dare tweet it, even though it's true, because it's just not the right time to say it. But like like Klopp knows how to beat like Mourinho knows how to school Klopp. Klopp knows how to school Pep. And I know that sounds ridiculous because of how bad Manchester United are under Mourinho at the moment. But actually, when you look at Mourinho with United against Liverpool's Klopp, Klopp's never beaten him and he's hardly ever scored past him. Mourinho knows how to stop Klopp. It's not pretty, but he does know how to do it. I think Klopp knows how to stop Pep, but do it in a good way as well. And I think we saw that last season. I think it was about this time last season at the Etihad. Yes, did City win something like 5-1 or something? But Mane got sent off, and I felt Liverpool were the better team up until that point, even though they were 1-0 down. The game in January at Anfield, the league game, Liverpool won that one, deserved to win it. And then the two Champions League games, they played them off the park, and they played absolutely fantastic. So I just think that it would be a real statement from Man City to go and beat Liverpool at Anfield, because that would be a step up. And Morata has scored now. 1-on-1. We were taking the piss, but he has just scored, so there we go. It's if City were to beat Liverpool today, that would be significantly better than last season, because that would be like, shit, they're going to win the league and they're going to take a step up from being the league winners last season. That's what I think if Man City were to win today, because it would be that much of a significant thing, because Liverpool so destroyed them over those two Champions League games in March, April time that would be massive for Liverpool to get beaten at Anfield by Man City. And to be honest with you, you know what? Whether Liverpool are top of the league going for the title with Man City, or whether Liverpool are fourth and City are top, I'd still think Liverpool at home at Anfield should be expecting to win this game. So it's nothing to do with them being, both going for the title. I think Liverpool at Anfield would expect to be giving Man City a game, and it should be a difficult game for them. The reality is most fans will want Mourinho out again if we lose to Chelsea, said Jamie. Well, I'm going to do the United stand at 8 o'clock tonight, and I'm going to be honest again on that. We've got a couple of guests, and I'm going to be honest again. I don't really understand why United fans have suddenly changed to back Mourinho again anyway. They scraped a win against a team that's going to get relegated. I mean, look at what Arsenal did at Fulham today. Absolutely obliterated them. Do you think United would ever do that? No, I don't. Christian V says, what are your thoughts on Arsenal under Emery? I said in the summer that if Emery was to get Liverpool, if he gets Liverpool in the top four, that would be amazing. If he was to get Arsenal into the top four, he deserves Manager of the Year, because their squad, and taking over from Wenger as well, that's an amazing achievement, and he's not had a massive amount of money to spend as well. I personally do think Arsenal will probably finish fifth. They'll finish above United, because United are going to stick with Mourinho. Mourinho's not getting United into the top four in a million years. But whether Arsenal can get in the top four, they've got to look at Spurs. Arsenal's threat has got to beat Spurs. That's what they've got to look at. Can we beat Spurs? And if they can, then maybe they can slip into that fourth place. And I think it would be a massive achievement for them. But it's difficult for Arsenal, because what they need next season is Champions League football. And if I was Arsenal, I would be looking at that Europa League very, very seriously. It's a big gamble. As a Manchester United fan, I can say that the Europa League, we got lucky a couple of times when we won that, but it got us in the Champions League. We didn't finish in the top four that year, so it got us into the Champions League. So it's a massive opportunity for Arsenal, but I think their better chance is going to be the Europa League. But he's doing a good job there, and it's going to be a very difficult job for him. Zaynith says, Mark, did you see what Zidane's agent said? Did anyone? No. If you want to let us know in the live comments, Zaynith, we'll keep an eye out for that. Jose fans are not United fans, says SB. I think they will be. What you've got to also bear in mind is as well, if you look at the fan cams on the United stand yesterday, they're brilliant. And nearly all of them, nearly everyone we spoke to, and all in all, it was well over 20 people. They're like, nah, that's not enough for Mourinho. He still needs to go. And people say, oh, there's fans chanting in the ground. If you've been to Old Trafford any time in the last 5 years, and I'm not disrespecting these fans, but you can see it on Match of the Day, you can see it on the match day itself. I would love to know what the percentage of United fans who are tourists on a match day. And when I say tourists, it's their first time. And, we don't know what their background is. I'm sure they are United fans, but we don't know what they are. They're out for a day out. And I think they would cheer and shout Mourinho because they want They're out for a day out. They want to be part of the atmosphere. They're not coming with a grudge. They've not spent thousands of pounds to come to Old Trafford to start booing the manager or anything like that. So I think a lot, obviously match-going fans, especially the away fans, are the lifeblood of any club. But let's not get away with ourselves because some people sing Mourinho that means that the United fans are behind Mourinho. I don't think that's the case at all. I really don't. I think it's very, very split. Mark, is it weird that I'm really into fat women? Says Sebastian Suglas. I don't think this is the channel for it, mate, but it takes all sort. JTTV says Jose's low-key mad that he failed to get himself sacked yesterday. Well, yeah, maybe. Thoughts on Mo Salah? My thoughts on Mo Salah is that he's still the best player in the league. I know Hazard is being touted by a lot of people, but I think Salah's the best in the league. I think De Bruyne is the best in the league. In fact, that reminds me, I must do the team news because that's part of the show, isn't it? So let's have a look at what the team news is. And there was some talk that De Bruyne might start today. He's not even on the bench, so that's not a surprise. But in relation to Liverpool, this is something that's very important for Liverpool. Very, very important. I did a video on my channel a few weeks ago saying that Liverpool sort of remind me of the United, but in relation to the United under Sir Alex Ferguson, that mix of British talent and signings, picking the same team every week, it's massive. And you look at his team today: Alisson, Gomez, Lovren, Van Dijk, Robertson. There is a change there. No Gomez, so Lovren comes in with Van Dijk, but no Trent Alexander-Arnold, so he's made a change there. And Alexander-Arnold goes to the bench. Gomez comes in with Lovren, Van Dijk and Robertson. Milner, Henderson and Wijnaldum. No place for Naby Keita. And then Salah, Firmino and Mane. So, they've got that sort of team, that's team thing going on. Fabinho, very interested that he can't get into that Liverpool team, isn't it? Very interesting. Keita's on the bench, Sturridge on the bench, Mingale, Shaqiri, Matip and Alexander-Arnold. And that's something Liverpool can offer that they haven't been able to offer as well. That was the brilliance of Liverpool's business in the summer, is that they basically meant that every game they've got a very strong bench as well. They've got people on the bench they can turn to who are going to make a difference. Man City, Ederson, Walker, Stones, Laporte, Mendy, Bernardo Silva, Fernandinho, Silva, Mahrez, Aguero, Sterling. I look at that City team and it's a good team, but you take De Bruyne out of it, you take Sane out of it, and I think that you can get at that team. I don't think it's... I look at Sterling, Aguero, Mahrez, Silva, Fernandinho. I think they can be beat today. I think they can score, but I think they can be beat. And you look at their bench: Danilo, Kompany, Sane, Otamendi, Gabriel Jesus, and Foden and Muric. And I think, I think they're there to be beat. So we'll see what happens. But I think Liverpool are going to win this one. And I say it through gritted teeth, because personally, as a United fan, a draw, even though I don't think we're in the title race, you never know, one of them could drop like a stone and fall below us. So I would say I would want a draw. But I predict that I'm going to sit watching this game, very, very angry, because my club's nowhere near this sort of standard at the moment. But what irritates me anyway is that we're nowhere near a title challenge in October. We're out of a title race in October if we were ever in it. That irritates the life out of me. But what also irritates me is that I think we're going to see two teams that play good football. And I don't see that week in, week out as well. So, yeah. But I'm going to go 3-2 Liverpool with that. Let's have a look at some of your comments. The only time United play attacking football is when we're losing to a relegation side. Atkinson's the referee and he hates City, says me. I was supposed to go to this game, but my friend fucked up the ticket, says Stuart Collins. Oh dear. Well, here you are in the live comments. Aguero has never scored at Anfield in 9 appearances. That's quite an interesting thing, says Chronic. Thoughts on Kevin De Bruyne, Mark, says Armcadca. Well, he's got a nickname from me, and that's Fanta Pants. But, I think De Bruyne and Salah are the best two players in the Premier League. Look, that can change over the course of this season. I think Eden Hazard's had a very good start to the season. I think a couple of other players have had very good starts to the season. But, we are still very early into this season. And the reality is that people like De Bruyne and Salah, well, they've they got their teams to titles and Champions League finals and qualified them for the Champions League. Hazard was a Chelsea player last year. He didn't do that. So it's your guy says, what's your top 4 for this season? I think it's got to be what it is at the moment. Spurs, Chelsea, if it is that. Spurs, Chelsea. Well, no, Arsenal are there at the moment. So, yeah, I'd pull Arsenal out and say Spurs, Chelsea, City and Liverpool. That would be my top 4. I don't, even as a United fan, I don't see it in a million years that we would get there. Salah's a one-season wonder, says Luke Davis. I think there's an element of Salah's game that has been found out this season, but I don't think he's a one-season wonder. I think he'll be fine. Why do I hate Hazard so much? I don't hate Hazard so much. I just think he's very inconsistent, and I think that's proven. Yeah, he can have one season where he's brilliant. He can have another season where he's crap. Where was he last year? Where was he the season that Mourinho got the sack? It's not just one bad season. He was bad last year. He was bad the season that Mourinho got sacked. There may well be other ones. I don't really pay that much attention to Chelsea, but he's ridiculously inconsistent, and I don't think he deserves to be mentioned in the same sentence as players that are, proper world-class players. I'm not saying Hazard can't turn that around, and on his day he's a very exciting player. But even the goal he scored against Liverpool in the Europa League, the Carabao Cup, he skips past Marino, who's not even on the bench for Liverpool. He's a reserve, and scores past Mingale. He's crap. I just don't think yet is the time to start going on about that. I'm definitely not ginger. It's probably the lighting. Some people say that every now and again. I'm just going to have a look myself. Yeah, I think it's a little bit of the way the lights shine on. I'm not ginger. Nowhere near it. Salah had one good season and you call him the best, says Kyle J&M. But Kyle, you just exposed yourself as a football peasant, because Salah hasn't had one good season. He was brilliant for Roma before that. So he's not had one good season. He's been very consistent since he's left Mourinho at Chelsea. He's been very, very consistent. So you need to go and check your facts. And where is the troll squad, says Snaps? Don't know. I'm not... Look, I'll tell you what. I'm not going to answer any more questions about Hazard. I've told you why I don't think he's that as one of the best players in the world. And having seen Messi play the other night, how people think Hazard's one of the best players in the world makes me laugh. That's like comparing a bloody rusty old Ford Escort to a Ferrari. He's nowhere near what Messi or Ronaldo is. Not even fit to bloody clean their arse. He's nowhere near them. And he's not the best player in the Premier League, and that's my opinion. You can have a different opinion to me. I definitely disagree. Hopefully a draw, says Alan Barney. What did I think of Arsenal today, says Toby the Greatest. I didn't watch it because I was doing my FIFA stream, but watching the goals, highlights, I mean, look, I don't even need to watch that. If you go to Fulham and win 5-1, it doesn't matter who you are, that's a very, very impressive result. And having started the season with 2 games, was it Chelsea and City, and then to get yourself up into the top 4 after that start, that's very impressive from Arsenal. Why did you rename the channel? Well, I've just called it Mark Goldbridge That's Football because it's my channel. I set it up, so I'm just putting my name in the headline. Salah seems still injured to me, says Julian M. I think, Julian, you're spot on. I think you're absolutely spot on, mate. I think Salah had a very, very, very psychologically damaging injury in that Champions League final. The sort of injury that I think when you break your leg or your shin, or you turn you do your ligaments or something like that, you expect that as a footballer that can happen. But when you go into a challenge in a 50-50 and that happens to you in such a big game, I think psychologically he probably is a little bit, unsure. He certainly in the World Cup was carrying that injury, so maybe he's got a little bit to get on by with. But look, all footballers go through patches, and I think Liverpool are winning. Liverpool are top of the league, basically, if they win today. So I don't think Liverpool fans are massively concerned about Salah. I suppose the worrying thing is, what if Salah starts playing well on top of how Liverpool are doing? That would be pretty darn damaging for everybody, wouldn't it? What I want to look at, though, is that we obviously have this international break coming up after this game. the next set of games, again, you would expect Arsenal to win. At home to Leicester, you'd expect them to win that. Liverpool go to Huddersfield, you'd expect them to win. Man City would be at home to Burnley, so that's 3 points as well. Spurs, West Ham, potentially that's points droppable, but Chelsea, Manchester United. So I look at that and I think if Chelsea beat United, that's another bad weekend where everybody else wins. And then the following weekend, Arsenal go to Palace. They'd be confident of winning that. Chelsea go to Burnley, they'd be confident of winning that. Liverpool host Cardiff, they're going to win that. Man City, Spurs, that's a good game. United, Everton, I don't know whether I'd fancy United to win that one. So, and then the weekend after that, Arsenal, Liverpool, that's going to be a very good game. That's at the Emirates, that'll be very good. United, Bournemouth, Chelsea, Crystal Palace, Man City, Southampton, Spurs, Wolves will be a good game as well. So the games start to come thick and fast, and there's nowhere to hide. There's nowhere to hide. I can just see, even as a United fan, I can just see that gap getting bigger and bigger between Manchester United and the top four, because they're all in a groove, they're all playing good football, and they all know what they're all about. Bailey and Jones are having nightmares, says Roberto Besic. What if United beat Chelsea though, says Mad Marcus. Look, anything can happen in football. Of course it can. Maybe that second half yesterday is going to inspire the players to play for Mourinho. But I think the most interesting thing is when United scored all those goals to get themselves back in the game, I didn't see one player running towards Mourinho to hug him. And Jose Mourinho still came out after the game, calling two of his youngsters scared on a pitch. I don't think anything's going to change long term, which I think will be music to the ears of our rivals. Thoughts? Mark, Zinedine Zidane's agent pretty much said managing in England doesn't attract him and that he's taken a year off, says Zed Jamie. Well, there you go. That's probably why United are sticking with Jose Mourinho, because who would they go for? They're stuck. They're stuck with Mourinho by the sounds of it. Mark, how long would you give new manager when Jose goes? 3 years, says Danny Green. Well, look, I'm going to leave that for the United stand tonight, because this game's about to kick off in 9 minutes, and this is about something else. United have had their time, and United will get their time on the United stand. I'm sure I'll start talking about them when I'm watching this game, but for the moment, we're about this. Liverpool usually has the best of City. I hope that changes today, says Tommy. I think the reality is that no matter what the result is today, because they're all so close in the league, it won't make a huge amount of difference. I mean, Chelsea beating Liverpool last week. Chelsea and Liverpool drawing last week. That's a significant point for Liverpool to save themselves, and it would have been a significant result if Chelsea had won. Today, it's a significant result if Liverpool beat Man City, but it's not the end of City's task, is it? Not by any means. So lots going on, lots of opportunities around, and I think I'm interested to see how it's going to go. But I would say that I would have to say Liverpool will come out and win it, but you never know. You never know which way it's gonna go. Half past 4 is the kickoff, mate. So we're 8 minutes away. I think the United stand's going to be a very interesting show tonight. Even if my guests aren't controversial, I'm gonna fucking go in on it. I'm bored to death of Jose Mourinho as Manchester United manager, and I'm not going to change that opinion unless we win every game up until Christmas. If he does that, I'll change my mind, but not at the moment. Where do you think Arsenal could finish this year, says Total Gamer? I think Arsenal going to finish 5th, mate. I don't know why, I just feel they will. I think they do really well at the moment, but I think they're getting a bit ahead of themselves because they're not very good compared to the rest of the top 4. They're better than United. I've got to admit, Arsenal are better than United, but I don't think they'll finish in the top 4. Their only chance is Spurs bottling it, and under Pochettino, They've done all right. And also, it's worth... I'm going to stop doing that now. It's also worth bearing in mind that the Europa League is a massive issue for Chelsea and Arsenal. It's not now because it's the start of the season and it's fine at the start of the season. It's all right. At the start of the season, it is okay. But the enthusiasm's there. You've not got many injuries. The fatigue's not there. Yeah, we can do Thursday, Sunday. And Chelsea did it and won. And Arsenal did it and won. But the Europa League will tell you, if it could talk, it would say, I only told you to blow the bloody doors off. It would not say that because the Europa League trophy is not Michael Caine. But if the Europa League could talk, it would say, I am going to fuck you up in March. That is what I am going to do. I am absolutely going to fuck you up. And it does. It does. March and April, if you're in the Europa League, I'm experienced of the Europa League. I hate the Europa League. Anytime I say anything negative about the Europa League, I get schoolboy Arsenal fans saying, oh, they pull off a Photoshop of a tweet that I put out saying, winning the Europa League is one of the moments that you should remember. Of course it is. It's a trophy United had never won. But I said throughout the Europa League, I hated it. I hate the Europa League. I absolutely hate it. I think it's a crap tournament, but if you can win it, oh, it's a relief and it gets you in the Champions League. But it will mess you up like you've never been messed up before because once you hit March and April, you're tired. You play Thursday, Sunday. Now, everyone always goes, and it's the old cliche, and I've said it before, everyone always says, oh, Thursday to Sunday, it's the same as playing Wednesday to Saturday. The Champions League's more forgiving because you could play Tuesday in the Champions League and then not play till Saturday or even Sunday. Or you could play Wednesday and not play till Sunday. But Europa League, you're always Thursday to Sunday. It's always that 2.5, 3 day turnaround and that's difficult. So that's Arsenal's problem and that's probably going to be Chelsea's problem. I suspect Chelsea will be so embedded in the top four that they may think about the Europa League and go, you know what, bin it. It's not worth it. We're going for the title, maybe. Maybe Chelsea will be going for the title, but they'll certainly be going... I think Chelsea will be well in the top four. I think Arsenal are probably... If Arsenal finish above fourth, street party, and I'll come, because I'll even say that's amazing in his first season. If Emery can get them embedded in the top four so that in March they're like, we can sort of have a go at both, brilliant. But I think Arsenal will be battling for fourth in March and April. I think Spurs will be out of the Champions League by then. And I think Spurs will have that massive advantage. And Arsenal will have to make a choice. Do we gamble on the Europa League or do we gamble on the top four? And that is the problem. At the moment, everything's great. But there we go. Right. Please do share the video, everybody. You asked me to do this watch along. I'm doing it for you lot. I was going to watch the game anyway. I've got a sore throat. But I am doing it because you asked me to do it. So the least I think I can ask from you lot is please do share the video. There's a share button underneath. Click it. Share it. Twitter and Facebook, subscribe in the bottom right hand corner, drop a like, get your comments in, and yeah, that's what we're doing. Why the hell didn't we sign Barkley, says Don Snaps. If you're a United fan, Don, why the hell didn't we sign Kovacic as well? Jorginho would have been nice. And also on top of that, why the hell did we sign Fred to play McTominay? You know, don't start me on United. It's already coming into my head now. Because I'm like, I think this game's going to massively irritate me because there's no result that's going to make me happy. You know, the draw is probably the best, but yeah. Arsenal don't have squad depth, Chronic, says David Roworth. Look, what I will say is this. I will tell you this. I will bloody love it. No, what I will say is this. I will say this. That it's still very early in the season in relation to Arsenal and Chelsea. Because when it's November and Christmas, if they're still where they are, maybe they've got a chance. It's still very early in the season, and no one's picking up injuries, no one's picking up fatigue, and that's going to happen, especially with the World Cup behind you. But some United fans will say, well, on one hand, Mark, you're saying that it's too early in the season to be judging Arsenal. What about it's too early in the season to say United are out of it? But that's a totally different thing. That's a totally different thing for a very, very simple reason. If you're up there, you can only drop down. If you're not up there, you're gonna have the same problems as the teams up there. United are gonna have fatigue problems. United are gonna have injury problems. So you're better off. You've got a miles better advantage if you're up at the top and you've got that points advantage than you are if you're in United's position where you're playing catch up, but you're also going to be impacted by the same issues of those teams at the top. I mean, you know what? I don't think there's many people who put a bet on that United are going to finish in the top 4 this season under Mourinho. I think it would be, you'd be chucking money away. You really would. This is overrated game, says Chrisia Prince, and it's live, says Mad Marcus. Yeah, we are about to kick off, so I just need to get the old timer up. Where are you? There you are. There you are. A bit of Roger Moore. The one thing I would like to say is that wasn't Roger Moore. Hello, Alan. I can do Roger Moore when I have a bit of a sore throat. Rest in peace, Roger. Okay, where are we? Where are we? So, I'm going 3-2 Liverpool. I want probably 6-all. As long as it's a draw, I'm not bothered. That's what I want to see. It's very difficult as a United fan to sit and watch this game because I don't like Liverpool and I don't like Man City. That's what rivalry means. But also, there's a part of me thinking, this is if you're a football lover, this is two of arguably the best teams in the country at the moment. Well, I think they are the two best teams in the country at the moment, going head to head, and it's intriguing. And if you're a football lover, you're going to watch it. But of course, if you're a Chelsea fan, you probably want to draw. If you're an Arsenal fan, you want to draw. If you're a United fan, you want a big, massive brawl and a 10-points deduction for both. But that's not going to happen, is it? So you want to draw as well, even though I think both these teams could drop 10 points and they'd still be ahead of us by tomorrow morning. It's not great if you're a United fan at the end of the day. Is it, Roger? No, it's not, Mark. Okay, here we go. Roger might be around us a little bit more because you can't waste the sore throat. I can go a lot deeper when I've got my sore throat, and some of my crap impressions become a little bit more forgivable. Anyway, we're up and running. The timer's up and running. This is quite relaxing, actually, apart from the fact that I'm massively irritated. Okay, Liverpool are on the attack straight away, but Man City do a little back heel, and I'll be very surprised. Well, I don't think Man City can smash Liverpool. I think Liverpool could smash Man City. It's an early little bit of ball for Salah, and it's out. No, it's not. But Liverpool pressing the higher up the pitch. Will Pep learn his lesson? Will Pep learn his lesson from the Champions League games? Early chance to put a cross in from Milner. Salah's got it in the box. He's got 4 City players around him, and City will clear, but City are obviously going to look to hurt them on the break. This is Kyle Walker. He's offside. Kyle Walker wasn't offside. Mahrez was.
Yeah, Sean Dyche's like that, isn't he, total gamer? We came today, Huddersfield, and I spoke to what we walk around.
I can't speak like Sean Dyche for long with this sore throat. Yeah, there's a lot of colds and everything going round, Jay Hart. I will not... Ball forward. It's into the keeper. I thought Firmino might be in there, but it's with Ederson. Sounds like a printer, doesn't he, Ederson? I've got the Ederson 4000. It prints pages at 52 pages a second in pristine HD. The Ederson 5000. Available on Amazon for $59.99 with 2 free packets of paper. City is Liverpool. Mane in the box. It's a little bit of a part of the bus from City, this is, you know, let's be honest. A little bit of a part of the bus in the first few minutes. Part of the bus and hit on the brake. Speech impediment, Sean Connery. I can't really do Sean Connery, but there you go. She was only 15 years old, Phil Mitchell. She was only 15 years old. I will not bury another Wayne Batman. That was rubbish. I used to be able to do the Batman one and I can't do it. City passing it around dangerously at the back here. They like to pass out from the back. Liverpool like to press. I will not bury another Batman. I will not bury another Batman. She was only 15 years old. I will not bury another Batman. Salah shoots wide. Half a chance. Shoots wide. Andy Stewart's right. Of course, it's never parking the bus when Golden Boy Pep does it. I haven't taken my tablets today, Sims. Seriously, keep your impressions to yourself, says Chaz. Keep your opinions to yourself, Chaz. Can you do American accents? No, I'm not going to do any more accents. I'm just getting picked on. No, I don't. End way well with the most naive comment of the day. Do you really think you're good at these impressions? Of course I fucking don't. Are you thick? Do you really think I think I'm good at my impressions? Bloody hell. Give me some credit. I know the shit. Real Madrid want to sack their manager for a start and we are singing Jose Mourinho's name. That says it all, says Sully BJ. They'll just go and get Zidane back. Pep Guardiola, it's not the real one, unless he is sat on his phone on the Anfield bench, joining in with the live comments, says that they're just drawing them in so they can sucker punch them on the break. Jack says Mark's just trying to laugh away the pain of one of these teams winning. There is no win situation for Manchester United fans if one of these teams win it. I mean, to be honest, there is no situation that's good anyway. Even a point. I can't see us getting anywhere near this. Quanta says, live a little. Mark's clearly having a laugh. Yeah. Some people don't have a sense of humour though, Quanta. Sarcasm and that is, you know, maybe it's just a very sort of British thing. I don't know. I've heard a lot of people say that they don't get the British sarcasm humour. Maybe that's what it's all about. I can do a good Irish one though, so I can do Irish. That sounded a bit Scottish though. I sort of flip between the two. Liverpool full of energy, as you'd expect. Of course, lost in midweek to Napoli. Even I was surprised by that. Free Runner says this is going to be 0-0. I tell you what, Free Runners, if this ends up 0-0, I will promise to send you a free episode of FIFA 19. Free episode of FIFA 19. Yeah, it'd be me playing a game sent by MP4. No, I'll give you a free copy of FIFA 19 if this ends 0-0. Never going to happen. Never going to happen. Who do you prefer, Guardiola or Klopp, says Chris Sparks. I think this sums up how I feel as a United fan at the moment, because when United are competitive, I would be sat here saying I can't stand either of them. But because we're not even a threat, I can't dislike people who aren't a threat. So I'm like, I probably prefer Klopp. And you know why I probably prefer Klopp? And that pains me to say it, because I prefer City to Liverpool just because the rivalry with Liverpool is more. But I prefer Klopp to Pep because he's more passionate, he's more expressive, and I prefer his style of football. I find Pep's... I hate tiki-taka. I hate tiki-taka football. It bores the shit out of me. That's why when I saw Barcelona at Wembley the other night against Spurs, that's probably one of the best Barcelona sides I've seen on the eye. I don't think they're going to be anywhere near as successful as some of the best Barcelona sides, but they're a little bit more direct. They're a little bit more what I like, and I don't like Pep's style of football that much. So I would say Klopp for me. Tyler Cole says, I rate Roberto Martinez. Someone's got to. And Klopp is everyone's favourite, says Emperor Halcyons. Callum Freezy says, are Arsenal and Chelsea underdog title challengers? I like the way you've put a team in that is an underdog challenge with Arsenal who aren't. There's no way Arsenal are going to win the league. Not in a million years. No. And I don't like to say that because, and I will say to you Arsenal fans who are annoyed by that statement, there's no way in a million years Manchester United are getting in the top four with Jose Mourinho, and I'm a United fan. So I'm not being biased just because, you know, I don't want Arsenal to win the title. I will say to you, Arsenal will not win the title. No way. Chelsea could win the title. I don't think they will, but they could. Arsenal won't win the title. I still think if Arsenal get in the top four, it'd be an amazing season for them. So Arsenal fans shouldn't get greedy. I think as a non-Arsenal fan, I said at the start of the season, if you finish fourth in the top four and you finish fourth, that's an amazing season. That should be your ceiling. If you do any better than that, you're in dreamland. Chelsea might win the title. But for me, it's going to be... I think Man City are going to win the title. I'm not even going to say Liverpool will win it. Ginge player, I did see what happened at the end of the McGregor fight, yeah. Jay the Legend says City are getting destroyed without conceding a chance. I wouldn't say they're getting destroyed. They're the away team, aren't they? Big Daddy Mac says, big up Goldbridge. Thanks, Biddy Mac. Thanks, Big Daddy Mac. If you could have one player from City and Liverpool, who would you have at United? I don't think I'd ever have a Liverpool player because it's not palatable. They have got some good players, but I think Liverpool fans would say the same as well. They wouldn't want a United player at their club either. And I say the same with City. I don't want any of their players. In a hypothetical, it would obviously be Salah and De Bruyne because they're the two best players, but I wouldn't want them. Liverpool known for bottling, says SB. The thing about Chelsea is they've still got a lot of players in that squad who've won titles, haven't they? Liverpool players, no, none of them are title winners. Dalraj says that City are playing bad. Do you think Steve Bruce would be a good fit at United, says Ben Redwood? Never in a million years. It's all Liverpool at the moment. And they won a corner. Interesting how Lovren's come in for Liverpool today. I don't know enough about Liverpool to know why that would be. Whether Alexander Arnold is carrying an injury or not. But Gomez is playing on the right and Lovren is playing at the centre-back position. Matt Wend says, what are the chances of Dan from today's United stand coming on more often? He did a good job. Which one's Dan? I don't interview them, you see. They just go up on the channel, so I don't know who Dan is. Obviously, I know a few of the people, but which one's Dan? Dan's a nice man. Wan White says he'd take Walker and Sane. Well, I'd take Sane. I can't understand why Sane's on the bench. He's one of my favourite players in the Premier League and he plays for a rival. I think Leroy Sane is the closest thing I've seen to Ryan Giggs in modern day football. I think the way he glides past players and everything like that. I think there's clearly a problem with him and Pep, isn't there? And that's one thing I would always agree with Mourinho on. It's the way, his issues with Pogba, with Martial get absolutely magnified. But Pep's clearly got a problem with Sane, and I like Sane. Red Jedi, Dan from the Watchalong. Yes, you threw me there because I thought you were talking about fan cams. Discord should be live tomorrow night, Don Snaps. Yeah, Dan from the Watchalong was brilliant. I think he's probably going to take Marcus's job, but don't tell Marcus. We've been negotiating this morning, me and Dan, about how we should do every watch along with me because he's way better than Marcus. So yeah, but don't tell Marcus that. Ryan Giggs is overrated, says Stuart Collins. Whatever. Not even getting into that debate. Well, this is one of the first times City have been in the Liverpool half. They tried the press, but it doesn't work, and Liverpool move through the gears to win the ball. No, they haven't. City have won it back. They've got a bit of an attack on here. Gomez was at fault. Into the box go Man City. Sterling. Nice little run. And wins a corner with a good block from Gomez. Darryl Brennan. Jose in or out? I'm Jose out now, mate. Yeah, there is a United stand tonight at 8 o'clock, Anaban. Can't wait for it. It's going to be a cracker. Absolutely cracker. I know Marcus is watching, Henix. That's why I said it. I love Marcus. If I could have both on, I would, but you can't have three on because it takes away from me talking. And everyone knows that's why people watch the United stand. It's all about me, isn't it? So, yeah, but Dan's very good. What was that corner from Man City? SB, I've been Mourinho out for about a week and a half. It's nothing. It's not a revelation. Game's starting to stretch a little bit now. The thing about City is I don't think, apart from... Oh, what the hell was that? Surely a foul by Mane. He's got to be a little bit careful there. I don't want to get himself a red card. Watching Doctor Who tonight, Mark, says Tilly Bobs. No. It's shit. Have a watch along debate. Marcus versus Dan, says Jay Hart. Ryan Giggs was so inconsistent and only had pace. Oh, Stuart, I've read one of your comments again. I'm ignoring Stuart Collins from now on. I'm not talking about Ryan Giggs. Anybody who ever hears my lad Sebastian behind the scenes crying, he's not like I've left him in the back garden. There are other people in the house. I'm not live here ignoring him, by the way. It's just that sometimes the noise is heard. Liverpool are choking. Incoming, says Happy. Ob 2005. Who do you want to win, Mark? In one. I would say I want to draw. But... the game's starting to open up a little bit now, which is good. Let's see if we can get 1,000 people watching. That would be fantastic. Please do share the video. Link in the video. No, the share button's underneath. So just click share on Twitter and Facebook. Get involved. It's not... I wouldn't say this... I mean, the 15 minutes is flown by. I wouldn't say it's a brilliant football game at the moment. I thought Chelsea-Liverpool last week was very, very good, easy on the eye. I think this one is a little bit, Chelsea City are trying to pull them off, pull Liverpool out, in, and then do them on the break. It's a good ball in there for Salah, but it finds its way through to Ederson. Joy Deep wants 2-2. Draw, says Joy Deep. Would you take a Cardi over Lukaku? Yes, Dom Felipe Kitty, I would. I've always said that though. It's not, I'm not a flip-flop fan. If I make my mind up about something, I can change it, but I will explain why I change it, and I don't change my mind. Like, there's nothing going on in the game at the moment, so I'll say this, but with Mourinho, when I heard he was going to get sacked on Friday night, I was genuinely excited. And I think some United fans were. And there's no need to feel guilty about that. He's caused it himself. But I think you'd be an absolute flip-flop if you are now Mourinho in. Because Gary Neville says you need to be Mourinho in. And we beat Newcastle, just at home. I think that's ridiculously flip-flop. I think if you were Mourinho out last week... you should still be Mourinho out now. And I don't normally say that because I think, it's always about your opinion. Of course it is. But I just think you're a flip-flop if you were Mourinho out yesterday morning and after that result yesterday, you're now Mourinho in. Based on what? Based on what? Based on what? There was nothing in that game yesterday that he did that makes you think he can turn things around. Yes, we won the game, but we should be winning that game. So, me being Mourinho out is not a major thing for me. But I can't remember what the original point was now. Corner for City. First little foray forward. 18 minutes gone. But I'm going to talk about that on the United Stand tonight. This sort of division in the fan base is a joke, really. Everybody's got the best interests of Manchester United at heart. And if you want Mourinho to stay, that's your funeral. If you want Mourinho out, I think that's the logical, intelligent view. Because I've told this story before, but I used to work with a load of Villa fans, and when they had Lambert in charge a couple of years ago, and it was like, they just wanted him to get sacked. And then there was one fan who backed him, and I said, look, tell me a manager in history who, when it starts to go wrong, they turn it round. They don't. It doesn't happen. You don't have a bad period and then turn it around. It never happens. Ultimately, it's just a case of when they're going to get the sack, not if. And there is no manager in history who's had a really shit run of results over a long period of time and turned it around. Of course, people will say, well, Sir Alex Ferguson in 2005 or whatever, whenever it was, we had a bad season by our high standards, but we weren't losing 4 or 5 games in a row playing shit football. It was just we weren't winning the title, which is what we were judged on under Sir Alex. What I'm talking about is a manager who's, I'm talking about a run of results here that's 5-6 months old. That's what United have got. United have won games in that time. And the amazing thing is Jose Mourinho's got the best win percentage. But he's also played the worst football. It doesn't always correlate, does it? But the reality is United have been playing shit for a long time. And it needs to stop. Here's a mistake. That's a penalty. Oh, he's not giving it. I can't believe he's not giving that. Atkinson bottles it. I thought that was a penalty. Watch this back. Oh, Lovren on. That's a stonewaller, that is. Lucky Liverpool there. That is a blatant penalty. Come on. Just waiting for this to sort of go. Thought I'd lost my live comments there. Clear penalty, says happy. Clear dive, says Stuart Collins. Not a penalty. Well, it's all Stuart Collins. I think it's a... Well, he's just gone and booked Bernardo Silva, and Martin Atkinson is a crap referee. I've always said that. I've always been very, very consistent with that. No pen, says Beckham 7. Dalred says clear penalty. I want it to be a draw, cash in. Ew, Stuart Collins, that's not a penalty, Mark. That's not a penalty. No way. He's still got both legs. It's not a penalty. That's a rubbish accent, that is. If I don't drink lots of milk, I'll only be good enough to play for Accrington Stanley. Accrington Stanley. Who are they? Exactly. That's not a penalty. No way. That's not a penalty, like. Definitely was a penalty. Red Jedi says no penalty, it's soft. Here it is, watching it back. Yeah, I think it was a bit soft. Tabo Allen says that's a penalty. You know what? I thought it was a penalty, but having just watched it there, he goes down a little bit too easy. He's like a hooker on holiday. Oh, the yellow road to Texas is the one I wanna be. The yellow road to Texas is the only girl for me. Oh, I put my finger in the woodpecker's hole and the woodpecker said, oh, bless my soul. There we go. City are doing a lot better in the last sort of 2 minutes and 52 seconds. No, they are doing a little bit better now. Liverpool started off without really doing anything, having a lot of possession, but City have suddenly gone up a gear, and I think maybe that was Pep's plan. Soak up it up a little bit and then hit them in bursts. Fanta Pants is injured. Apparently Draughty's here. Didn't see him in the live comments. Yes, he is. There we go. He says his Fanta Pants playing. He hasn't even made the bench, Draughty. How he's back, I don't know. How is he back? How did Kevin De Bruyne get back? It's an absolute miracle. Man City do have amazing healing powers. In fact, I was reading a book the other day, and where the Etihad is, it's actually listed as one of the 10 places in the world. Like, you know, people go to Lourdes when they've got serious illnesses. People do go to the Etihad now because there's so much evidence of healing powers at the Etihad that people are making pilgrimages from all around the world to go to the Etihad and you know, get some serious illnesses healed. So, you know, it's not a coincidence. You know, it actually is there's some sort of, it's beyond Pep and it's beyond Man City's money. It actually has become a place of worship and pilgrimage. It's just one of those weird things in the world. That's the explanation that City are giving out anyway. And they're happy to charge people to visit because, let's be honest, they don't get many visitors. Do 25 minutes in, quite equal. But City sort of on top at the moment, but goals win prizes. That's what I would say. Jose complained about not getting a centre-back, but look at the way Klopp has developed Joe Gomez. If Jose developed our defenders, we'd have really good players too, says Jamie. And I agree with him. I do agree with him on that. And the reason I agree with him is because, actually, we've got Fosu Mensah, Twen Seaby, Roshan Williams. We've got a lot of young players at Manchester United who actually could be developed in the same way that Gomez and Trent Alexander have been developed by Jurgen Klopp. Sometimes money is not the answer. Sometimes you don't have any money. Sometimes you are living on £10 a week, shopping in Aldi, buying basic beans and toast and living off that. You can get by on anything in life, and I think Jose Mourinho talking about money is a ridiculous excuse that people are falling a trap into. You get by with what you've got, and he could have done that as well. I agree with that, Jamie, I really do. Sell Lukaku in your FIFA 19, says Bohani Hirikesh. You haven't watched my latest FIFA 19, have you, Bohash? Because I've just sold him. I sold him today for £98 million. £98 million! Jim, wait, we've got £98 million for Romelu Lukaku. I can't believe it. Can you believe it, Natalie? Because that's an amazing amount of money being spent there by Real Madrid on Lukaku. He's like a fridge. And you can get a drink from a fridge. Amazing. Anyway, Eminem rocks, says John Sherrill. I had to check my speed on YouTube there, says Jens. You can buy toast in a cafe, says Big Daddy Mac. Emperor Halcyon says Mark's in a right twattish mood. You've hit the nail on the head. You've hit the nail on the head. It's the only way to get through a game that you can't not watch, but you despise both teams because they're your biggest rivals. There you go. Tyler, have you been on the sniff, Mark? No, I've been on the Lemsip. There we go. Axel and B, I hope one day, says Cheetah70 Gaming. I think that's probably one of my best accents, Andy Stewart. It felt good. But I don't think I could do it again. I used to be able to do Zabulba from Star Wars brilliantly. When I lived in Dublin, I'd do this in the pub. It was prime Phantom Menace time. It was when the Phantom Menace came out and everyone didn't realise how shit it was. Get me down the pub, I'd do Zabulba, and people, get laid every night. Absolutely, you get laid off that accent. It was that good. And then one day, people were going, do Zabulba, Mark. Do the Zabulba accent, Mark. And I did it, and it was rubbish. And everyone just sort of turned their back on me and shunned me for the rest of the night. That's the trouble with my accents. They're either shit or they're really good, but I can't just turn them on. I'm not like some of them ones who can just do it off the cuff. Zabulba, Annie, it's not bad, but I just sound like a constipated Italian. Annie, I can't do it. Milner is down, says Happy. Half an hour gone. Ding 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 ding. City on the attack here. That's gone for a goal kick. I tell you what, I might be giving that FIFA 19 game away because it's still 0-0 after half an hour. Dom Philippi Ikiti. What is a Ribena? If you call a player a Ribena, what does that mean? Let's all make believe. Oh, I'd love to, Tyler, but it's such a B-side that people don't even know about. It'd just be wasted on the non-believers. But Let's All Make Believe by Oasis. Oh, that's a tune for the hardcore, and it's probably one of the best songs they ever wrote. And it's a B-side, and it's not even on the master plan. It's a cracker. It's a cracker. George Kyle says City are ready to strike at any point. I tell you what, I think a point for Man City, talking about striking at any point, I think a point for City is a good point. And it would still keep them top. No, it wouldn't. Yes, it would. They'd put them top, joint with Chelsea. Dalridge says that Liverpool look a little bit lost at the moment. They haven't really created a chance, Liverpool. Liverpool... What I would do to be going through this slump. They are going through their first slump of the season, drawing to Chelsea away, losing to Napoli, and at the moment struggling a little bit against Man City. Trust me, that's not a slump. But in comparison to what Liverpool have been doing this season, winning every single game, it's a little bit of a mini slump. Daryl Brennan says, I know a United fan who hates City because they're City fans. That's not uncommon. There's quite a few United fans who don't like Oasis because they support City. I just think that's stupid. Why deprive yourself of musical brilliance just because they support City? Daniel Craig's a Liverpool fan. Doesn't mean I ain't going to watch James Bond. Deal with it, bro and sis. It's disappointing that Daniel Craig's a Liverpool fan, but he's still a bloody good Bond. He doesn't warrant any accents, though, because his accent's a little bit boring. He's not like Roger Moore. Hello, Alan. I was just taking a rest. I'll be back for the next James Bond film, where I'll play Prime... What's gone on with my channel? Just going to have to get up for a moment, and I will be back. I'll be back. Tell you what, my throat's going to be absolutely knackered by the time I've done the stream tonight. Martin Atkinson, you are shit. It's getting tasty, says Jay the Legend. And, oh... I only told you to... I'm not doing Michael Caine. I do Michael Caine too much. I do it too much, way too much. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right-hand corner. And this is where the FIFA streams are at the moment as well, if you like my FIFA stuff. And this is where we'll be doing it for the next week or so. Mark, I'm fed up of talking about Arsenal, Liam. You're milking it now. You're bloody milking it. You cheeky gets. I've already given you 3 times I've spoken about Arsenal now and said they're doing very, very well. And Emery's doing very, very well. I'm going to start saying you're doing crap in a minute because I'm not giving that much love to you. Okay, you're milking it now. You're doing well. I'd rather City win, says Daniel Campbell. Look, in the context of the league, I agree with you on that one. I do agree with you on that one because on the context of the league, I would prefer Man City to win it over Liverpool. But Liverpool fans, do not get depressed about that or do not get angry with me about that. That is simply because Liverpool and Manchester United are in a club of 2 where the rivalry matters because we've been so obliteratingly successful in recent history, and we are the 2 biggest clubs in England, and we are the 2 most successful clubs in England, and we wouldn't piss on each other if we're on fire. That's the way the rivalry works. Doesn't mean we can't talk and be friends, but we're massive rivals, and you don't want us to win the title, and we don't want you to win the title. And I think same thing. I think Liverpool fans would rather Everton win the league than us, and we would rather Man City win the league than them, and that's the way it works. But on the other hand, I think at the moment I'd rather Arsenal win it than Man City because Man City are a bigger threat. But for a while, that was the best ever Premier League period with Man United and Arsenal in the late 90s. It was brilliant. And again, I wouldn't have given Arsenal the steam off my shit, but they've become a bit of a banter club in the recent years. And that when you're not a threat, people are a little bit nicer to you, aren't they? Rivalry's great. You don't have to be enemies because of it, but rivalry, actually, there is a thin line between love and hate. And that doesn't mean I love Liverpool. I do not. But I do respect them because they are a massive club like Manchester United with an amazing history. But the rivalry is very, very real. Oh, it is, yes. Mahrez keeps it in on the right-hand side. You feel a goal's coming, but we might be wrong. Listen Up's one of my favourites, Lee Carmen. I love Listen Up. Listen up, what the Times said today. I'm gonna read my mind. One fine day, gonna leave it all behind. Wouldn't be so bad if I had more time. That's a cracker. Listen Up by Oasis. Listen to it on full blast. It's a brilliant, brilliant B-side. That is on the Masterplan album, which is one of Oasis's best albums, even though it's a B-side. Oh, Sterling's in the box. Silver corner. It's not a silver corner, it's a corner. It was David Silva involved. Osama says Goldbridge has more money than Robbie. Trust me, I don't. Do I have bloody Ladbrokes on my thing? Am I saying sign up for this, sign up for that? No, we don't get any of that. Robbie's a nice bloke. Make a Mark Goldbridge pro on FIFA 19. How do I do that? Pro clubs. I've got to look into some of this stuff this week. I do want to do it, but having a job and everything else and doing all this, time is of the essence. Offside. Barnesy says, I will never listen to Listen Up Now because you've absolutely murdered it. I don't like Cast No Shadow, Mark. It's alright. It's a bit like Wonderwall. I don't really like Wonderwall. You know, they're good songs. I think if they only ever released Wonderwall and Cast No Shadow, they'd be good. But I think there's just so many better songs. Ginge Player says, do a Cockney accent. When I'm cleaning windows. Oh. Aguero. See, Liverpool have got a lot of players back at the moment. Mendy and Salah. He's away. Look at that pace there. Laporte cuts across. I do like Harry Potter, yeah. It's this time of year where you start watching those Harry Potter films as well, I think. Sort of, you know, autumn hits the UK at the start of October. The nights draw in. It's the perfect time for a bit of Harry Potter. And it helps if you've got kids. See, my kids love watching it. And I can pretend I'm just watching it because they're watching it when really I'm like, oh, this is very nice, festive feeling. Liverpool on a rare attack here at the moment. It's look, they don't need to panic too much. It's 0-0. But City have started to get their game going a little bit. I mean, Mahrez has settled in well at City, hasn't he? I mean, I never wanted him at United. I always thought, well, yeah, you had that good season at Leicester, but you're not that good. But he's done well. I'll make a pro Callum Frazee. Man City are doing better, says Callum White. They are at the moment. Sir Drake says Harry Potter had such a crap ending, it ruined it all for me. It was a little bit of an anticlimax. I think that's not, you know, whether you've watched Harry Potter or not, or football. The trouble is when there is a big villain, and they're a very good villain, their demise never lives up to their villainous. You know, if you think about some of the big villains, I hate that. That's what I hate about football in general. You've got a linesman giving a linesman flag, and behind him, 5 metres away, you've got 5 or 6 fans stood up giving him vile abuse. You know, that's on telly. The police should just come and take him out. It's disgusting. He's just doing his job. He might have got it wrong. He might not be very good at his job. But to be stood there with people behind you shouting, you fucking wanker and stuff like that, it's just vermin. And it's not just because they're Liverpool fans. It happens at Old Trafford. It happens at the Emirates. It doesn't happen at the Etihad because they haven't got any fans. But that's just, you know, just because you're in a football match and it's passionate doesn't give you the right to start bloody abusing people. I think people, it's a bit like Twitter really, isn't it? Just because you're sat on your bloody keyboard doesn't mean you can start calling people things you'd never ever do in real life. But this is real life. This is real life. Gomez is not a right back, says no thanks. No, I think they're better off with him with Trent Alexander-Arnold. Smith. Dalreg says that Liverpool are parking the bus now. I think they've sort of mirrored what City did at the start. You know, City have now had a bit of the ball. I don't think City have done enough to be 1-0 up. Certainly Liverpool haven't. I think 0-0 is going to probably be about right at half time. It might be right at full time. You know, But from Liverpool's point of view, if you want to win the title, if Liverpool draw this game, the title's not gone for them. If City lose this game, the title's not gone for them. But it's a difficult one for Liverpool because they are a team that attack, and their players are used to that attacking. Martin Atkinson's Mr. Inconsistent, isn't he? How is he not booked Henderson there, but he booked Bernardo Silva? It's ridiculous. He's just Mr. Inconsistent, Atkinson. Martin Inconsistenson. That's what I call him. On my own, it wouldn't work really. Roy Keane's my favourite player of all time in my time, Ginge. Premi Prodigy says Anfield is silent. This atmosphere thing about Liverpool is an absolute myth. I think football's changed. I think social media's changed football. I think the global rise of football has changed football. I think Liverpool have the same thing that Arsenal have, that United have, that at every home game, I'd love to know the percentage. I'd dare to say it might be up to 10, maybe 20%. I think it's somewhere between 10 and 20%, maybe even more. The scary thing is it may be even more from an atmosphere point of view. But I would say at Old Trafford, Anfield, Chelsea, wherever, I'd say that these big clubs, maybe more than 20% of the fans are there on a one-game trip. You know, they're tourist fans, and people take that tourist thing as a negative. I'm not saying it as a negative. It's a negative for atmosphere, though, when you're getting fans turning up who aren't there every week. How do you learn the songs? How do you get to know what the stadium's all about? And I think that plays a massive part on why atmospheres... Anfield always was a cauldron. It was. Old Trafford was as well. But the advent of the Premier League and the rise of football means that you get people like Andrew Southwick, who's a United Stand moderator. He travelled all the way from Arizona yesterday. He's a tourist fan. That's not I'm not saying that in a negative way. And what I'm saying is that, there's a lot of people who turn up for games now just for one game. And, some of them fans probably do turn up and chant, but it's a day out. I think what you used to have when the atmospheres were there... I mean, George Cole says, aren't we all tourist fans? Of course we are, because we're all travelling to go to somewhere that we don't live. But what I mean is, if you go back to, like when I used to watch football a lot in the late 80s, the grounds would be... football was sort of sneered at in the late 80s because of Thatcher and the hooliganism and everything like that. It was hardcore football fans going to games. And it would be the same set of fans. I'd say you probably had 95%, maybe even more, of every ground were fans who were going every week. So that's why you had the atmospheres. Now, football's for everybody. It's more global. And the percentage of fans who are there every week has lowered down. I personally think football's better for it. But atmospheres in stadiums obviously suffer from it. It's just what it is. What it is. It is what it is. But certainly, when I went... I mean, George won't know this, but I went to watch United... it wasn't the last game I went to, but I went to watch United-Chelsea probably about 18 months ago at Old Trafford. And I haven't told many people about this, but when I was sat there was a lot... even in the game, there was a row in front of me, and it must just be a row where they give out tickets for people who are only going to be there for one game. Because there's so many people when the game's ongoing turning around saying, can you take a selfie, or doing this, that and the other, on their phones all the time, taking pictures. Andy Stewart, they have implemented a singing section at Old Trafford, Mark. Only about 500, 600 though. It is classed to be a part of that though. Is that in the opposite corner to the away bit? Because when I was watching the Wolves game, there was a set of fans there. It wasn't very much, but they would never stop singing. But I don't know whether that is the bit. Klopp's gone running into the changing grounds. Apparently he's got a douse of the shits. Dodgy curry last night. But it's half time as well, which helps him. He can go on, he can let free and let it all out. And then he can give his team talk. So it is half time and it is 0-0. We're halfway there to what I thought would never happen, which is a 0-0 draw. And one. They just wanted a selfie with you, Mark, to sell on eBay, says George Carl. I doubt it. They were asking me to take the bloody picture. Daryl Brennan says he knows 2 United fans who hate Chelsea and City more than Liverpool. Yeah, I mean, that's the modern way, isn't it? People are going to have different things. I think in general, Liverpool are considered United's biggest rival, even from Manchester-based fans. Yeah. Liverpool's front three hasn't been good this season, says Manan Shanana. They're feeding off scraps in this game, though. Who's the best player on the pitch, says Hal now? I'd probably say, for me, I think Bernardo Silva and David Silva have been very good. For Liverpool, I think they need to step up a gear. It's not been really that... Look, it's 0-0. I can still see Liverpool winning this game, as much as City could win it. You know, I don't think it's going to end 0-0. And with that referee, who knows what could happen? If I was Mo Salah, I'd get in the box and take a tumble, because Atkinson's the sort of referee who would give it. And that might be just enough. It could be a very tight 1-0 game, this could be. Some younger United fans hate City and Chelsea more than Liverpool and Arsenal, says Manan. I hate Leeds and I'm a United fan, says Joyce Dale. Yeah, dirty Leeds. Everybody hates Leeds from United. I didn't watch the F1, I missed Eric. Callum White says this is more boring than Jose Mourinho. It's not been the great football game that I think many people predicted it was going to be. Robertson was good for Liverpool, says Abai. I do like Robertson. I think he's good. Stefan says Lovren, best centre-back in the world. Again, putting in the hard yards, proving to everybody how great he is. Park the bus, Liverpool, says Canned Clock Gaming. Well, Liverpool, yeah, City parked the bus for the first 5-10 minutes as well, though, to be fair. I really don't rate Mahrez, says Prem E Prodigy. No, I've got to be honest, I'm not a massive fan of Mahrez. I don't get the thing with Mahrez, to be honest, but obviously Pep likes him. If it ends in a draw, that's the best result for Liverpool. Sorry, not for Liverpool, for Man United, for Chelsea, for Arsenal. That's the ideal result. I mean, I say that as a United fan with total and utter apathy and disinterest. I mean, obviously, the best result for United is that it ends 0-0 or it ends in a draw, because it keeps them both closer to us. But I'll say now, there's not going to be a point this season that United are above Liverpool or City. They're gone, and we ain't getting near them. And to be honest with you, if we ain't getting ahead of them, we're not getting ahead of Chelsea either. And if we're not getting ahead of them, well, Arsenal and Spurs aren't far behind them either. So it's pretty much irrelevant from a United point of view what happens, but I just think a draw sort of is logical, isn't it? Pep had to start Sane. Mahrez is a bad choice, says Afaf. I don't understand what's gone on with City and Pep and Sane, because I don't spend a lot of time watching City. I've refused to watch that thing on Amazon Prime because it is Man City. I've got no interest in it. But Sane is a player that I begrudgingly like, and I do not really understand why. There must be an issue. There's got to be an issue, hasn't there? And I don't understand what that issue is, because I think he's a good player. Worried about the Chelsea game after the break. Already a write-off. We're going to get smashed, says Premier Prodigy. Look, I can't wait for United to play Chelsea. I hate the international break. How are we all feeling about the international break, actually? Because I personally am going to make it a great international break for you if you want to join the Goldbridge Club, because on this channel I'm going to be doing a lot of FIFA. I'm going to do Ultimate Team. We're going to be playing a lot of people online. So if you're a United fan, it's going to be way more entertaining than watching United anyway. So that's going to be good. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, get your notifications on, and get involved, because we'll be doing a lot of stuff. Shut up. But that's just my youngest Seb, who's trying to learn to talk, but just screams loudly. So yeah, that's going to happen on here. And on the United stand, we're basically going to be dedicating 2 weeks to call-ins and talking about United's next manager and whether it should be Mourinho and who are the options. So we've got lots of things planned on there. But in honesty, I don't like the international break. I wish we had midweek Champions League this week and we had Premier League next weekend. I don't like the international break at all. But so I can't wait for that United-Chelsea game. United have got a terrible record at Chelsea. You know, whether you're getting prime Sir Alex Ferguson or banter Mourinho, we have got a terrible record. And everything would suggest to me that we won't get anything there, because we're not good enough. But, you know, football's a funny old game. And we might. Because you just never know, do you? Do a Football Manager series, Mark, says Jamie FNC. Thanks for that deletion, Snaps. I was just about to go in on it myself. I hope Lewis wins in Austin, says Ebbs. There's too many international breaks, says Andy Steele. I hate international breaks. You know when we get to the one in November and it's gone? I'm ecstatic. I heard Flex saying last night that he thought this was the last one till March. There's another one in November. We have 3 international breaks before Christmas. They're a bloody nightmare. I can't stand them. I hate them. I've always hated them. I can't wait for them to disappear. But I suppose the only thing is it's not really relevant to other clubs. I wonder if we'll see... just watching that penalty back again. I wonder if we'll see anything from Pogba when he's with France. Will he keep his gob shut? I'm sure this time he will definitely be told to do it. But oh, what have I just done there? What have I done? Well, have we got any City or Liverpool? Well, we won't have any City fans. Have we got any Liverpool fans in the live comments? What are you thinking? Is it a game you have to win? Would you be satisfied with a draw? I suppose the issue from a Liverpool point of view is that you were away to Chelsea last week. You probably would have took a point there if you win today. But actually, if you draw both, I don't think it's the end of the world. I don't think it's the end of the world. Ginge player says, why is Hazard so highly rated when he's crap? I'll leave you to get all the normal fanboys having a pop at you for that comment, but I'm not far behind you. Kevin Vinod says, I'm a City fan. I supported him since last week. He didn't say that last bit. I'm just winding him up. Crispin is also a City fan. What did you think about the penalty shout, says Ian. I've just watched it back there. When I first saw it, I thought it was a penalty. And I've got to be honest and fair and say, as soon as I saw it was Lovren, I was convinced it was a penalty because he's calamitous. But then when I watched it back, I thought Aguero went down a little bit easy. A little bit like a fat kid on cake. And I think that may be what Atkinson saw. But it could have been given. I think if you are a Liverpool fan, you're going to say he dived. If you're a City fan, you're going to say it was a penalty. As a neutral, I can see both sides. I think if he'd given it, it wouldn't have been surprising. If he hasn't given it, you'd say, oosh. So, how are both of the City fans here? Says Red Jedi. I knew that was coming. I hate international breaks. I miss the league when it's not on, says Dean Hayes. Want Liverpool to lose because they got winnable games after this, says Darani. Hazard would still walk into the United side, though, in my opinion, says Lee Carmen. What? Look, his brother, Thorgan Hazard, would walk into the United side at the moment, let's be honest. Both will be happy with a draw, says Shadab. At the moment, we've been disjointed at the top, so I'll take a draw. We haven't let City create anything, so I'm okay with that at the moment. There's not been any clear-cut chances for either side. That's very true. Despite everybody being a bit... You know what? To be honest with you, these are teams that are at the top of the league that are probably going to be looking to win the league. Well, definitely in City's case, they're going to be looking to win the league. Already played some good football this season. Already scored some good goals this season. So maybe that... You know, showing that other side of the things where you can actually, when you can actually just grind a result out isn't a bad thing, is it? Zed Jamie says that David McDonnell, fella from the Mirror, is getting all sorts of abuse. It's a weird one. It's a weird one, Jamie. I'll write that down for later to talk about on the United Stand. So this is the guy who on Friday night started the leak that Jose Mourinho was going to be sacked this weekend regardless of the result. Lo and behold, Jose Mourinho is still in charge of Manchester United. I think something was going on Friday night at United. I mean, we did the video on the United Stand and, I'll be honest with you, I was excited. I was like, bloody hell, if he's going, that can only mean they've got Zidane lined up or something like that. Clearly, yesterday something changed. I don't think the journalist was lying. I just think they retracted on what they were thinking about doing. But ultimately, I think they will end up doing it. But not now. So yeah, it's weird. I'm going to talk about it on the United Stand tonight. But I think a lot of United fans have been left very pissed off by that story on Friday night. Some because it hasn't happened. Some because it's not good for them. Red Jedi says Gary Neville pissed me off. Look, I like Gary Neville. I like him as a United legend. I think Gary Neville maybe with Martial and Pogba kept Jose Mourinho in a job this weekend. But Man City versus Liverpool. Yes, this is it's Liverpool versus Man City. We'll be talking about the Zidane thing tonight. Episode 11 of my FIFA career mode will be tomorrow at 1 o'clock. There's 2 episodes up on this channel if people haven't caught up with it. Could be winning the Champions League. That would be great, but we'll see. Kevin Gorty says, can you do a video on how you started your channel and talk about how you reached the current height of success? It would be a walk down memory lane. Oh, I don't think I'm anywhere near that. I don't think we'd probably only get about 3 views. You, me and my mum. That would be it. Any more funny moments I've missed, says Draughty Devil. Oh, mate, it's been an absolute blast, this has. We're just on the download at the moment because it's half time. I should start. I'll tell you what, for all the jokes I've done, I haven't seen anybody put a bloody contribution in, you cheeky bastards. You're getting all this banter and all, it's basically it's just a one-man stand-up, this is, and nobody's bothered to give me a penny. I'm joking, you don't have to. Pep is following Jose's footsteps and parking the bus, says Sharath Bilgari. You know what? I think that's a great point, Bilaf, because... And why would that be a problem? You are Pep Guardiola. Last season, over 4 games, well, certainly 3, Klopp made you look stupid. Especially in the Champions League. He made you look stupid, right? What do you do if you're Pep Guardiola? What do you look up at? What are you looking at as research apart from hair transplants? You're going to look at who has had a good record against Klopp, and that is Mourinho. I might not be flavour of the month, he ain't flavour of the month at the moment. But if you look at Mourinho United against Liverpool, Klopp's never beat him, and he very rarely scores against him. So if you are Pep Guardiola, you would look at Mourinho and go, what does he do to not get beat by Klopp? And I think what Pep's done today, he's said, defensively, I'm going to do similar to what United do against Liverpool, but offensively, I'm going to try and hurt him on the break with the talent I've got with my attacking talents, and that's the hybrid, and it's that. That's what we want, and I think that's what's happening with Pep there. If you're a City fan, I think that's a really good comment. Dean Hayes says, I'm a Liverpool fan, but I think Roy Keane would be a good United manager. I don't think Roy Keane would be a good United manager. I think Roy Keane would be a brilliant manager of the dressing room to kick everybody up the arse, to be honest with you. I think he'd be a good assistant. Anyway, Klopp's out. He's had his poo. He's looking more relaxed. He looks like a bloke who's just had a big shit. He's sat there. He's feeling happy with himself. Pep, he's looking a bit constipated. Blowing the cheeks. Quick sip of water to try and get things moving around a bit. Ooh, I wish I could have a shit. But there we go. That's enough of the poo talk. The players are coming out. Abai says, would United win the league with Klopp? I don't think United can win the league with the players that they've got. I think they're short. I think, I will be fair to Jose Mourinho there and say that this squad's probably not good enough to win the title anyway, but it should be doing a hell of a lot better than it is. I think the funny thing about United, though, because obviously we're watching City versus Liverpool here, and I think that comment from Bilath that I expanded on perfectly is that, yes, City have set up defensively exactly like United would set up against Liverpool, and it's a very successful thing to do. But then that makes me think, well, it's not like United of this season, though, is it? It's like United of last season, because this season, United's big problem is defensively, we are shockingly bad. Which is, I think when Mourinho loses his power as a defensive coach, he becomes a poor coach, because defensively, he's always been very good. But United this season are awful defensively. I mean, you look at what Newcastle did in that first 10 minutes. That's just bad defending. We're playing Arsenal Fan TV in a couple of weeks, Matt. Not Matt. Mad Lad. It's 2 weeks today, isn't it? Is it 2 weeks today? It can't be 2 weeks today. It is 2 weeks today. Oh my God. I haven't even started bloody training. That's good. That's going to be a bloody nightmare. 90 minutes. Fucking hell. And I've got the man flu, so I won't be training tomorrow either. That's a disaster waiting to happen, that is. Anyway, City sort of sitting a little bit deep here at the moment. To be honest with you, this game could be about what's on the bench. Liverpool look a little bit nervous, and I think that's evident from the way the fans are as well. Stuart, of course Arsenal Fan TV will destroy us. They've had a team for 2 years. And it's not Robbie in goal and DT and Troops up front. They're on the bloody touchline. They've got a load of players who are Arsenal fans who've never been on the channel. So of course they're going to win. We've just said, we'll play you. But in our team, we've got Sophie, me, Flex, Rance, for a start, who are all on the channel. So, of course they're going to beat us. They've got players who are like proper footballers playing for them. But, so at least we're going to do it the credible way. Isaac Stars has made a contribution. Thank you, Isaac. He says, keep up the work, Mark. You're worthy of every penny. Thanks for that, mate. I wasn't even going to do this stream today, so thanks for the contribution. I don't care if we do get beat 10-0. At least there's credibility in it. Won't be on my part when I'm blown out my arse after 5 minutes, but there you go. City having a bit of the ball now. You do the shake and vac and put the freshness back. Do the shake and vac and put the freshness back. Good run by Silver there, but you can't get past 4. Anyone remember shake and vac? You're old enough to remember shake and vac? Basically what it was like a green tube of basically like talcum powder for your carpet, and you'd shake it on your carpet and then hoover it up and it would make your carpet smell right. Nice, but you know what? That was very much an 80s, 90s thing, and I think now, what sort of twat puts talcum powder on their carpet to make it smell nice in bits? Nah, it doesn't make any sense, does it? Bit of a half chance for Liverpool there, but nothing more than that. Where is my invite, Mark? And I'm a centre midfielder who has a lot of pace, says Andrew Ellis. I think it must be in the post. Royal Mail are crap. If Liverpool win the league, we won't hear the end of it, says Emil. That's sort of how we roll this season, Emil. This season for United is probably... I wouldn't say it's the worst ever. I thought under David Moyes it was terrible. And under Van Gaal when he left, it was terrible. And there's still a lot of this season to go, but at the moment it just feels banter. It just feels awful, doesn't it? I know we won yesterday, And I know a lot of United fans loved the fact that we won yesterday, and I did. But I'll be honest, I didn't celebrate the goals, and I felt like shit, to be honest. I was on a low. The Lemsip was running out, but I'll be honest with you, I found yesterday as a United fan, and I make no apologies for it, because I love it when people tell you how you should support your club. Oh, you didn't celebrate much for that. Up yours. I'll do what I frigging well like. I'll celebrate how I like. I'll say what I like as well. Everybody's bloody different. For all you know, I might not have celebrated because I just found out my cat had died. I haven't got a cat. But you know what I mean? It's like I felt that the 24 hours from Friday night to Saturday night was the weirdest, one of the weirdest times I've supported United in my life. I mean, you get told on Friday night that the manager that you want to go is definitely going. You wake up on Saturday morning and you're like, he's definitely staying. You get played off the park by Newcastle and you think you're definitely going to lose. And then the players suddenly decide to do something and win you the game at the end. And you're like, what the bloody hell's going on? There's so much emotion there. And I think teams like Liverpool and City and Chelsea and Spurs are very lucky that they've got a stability at their club at the moment, and they've got a philosophy. And I don't say, well, look, you know, we were very lucky with Sir Alex Ferguson for how long we had that, but United's such a disarray, and you never know what's coming next. And I suppose in some ways it's a bit like what Arsenal had for many years, but the difference with Arsenal is that manager actually built that club and turned it into what it is today, and was very successful with it. He just stayed too long. With United, we've got owners who, God knows, all they're interested in is money. Players who I like but lack leadership and strong mentality. And a manager who I just think he's just not a Manchester United manager. So it's a bit of a mess. Talking of which, Liverpool are not in a mess. Cross comes in. I tell you what, I thought it was going to fall to Firmino. Liverpool pushing a little bit here. Good interception by Henderson. Thinks he's Bolt. He's not. He's not quick enough. The fireplace will be back on the United stand. I found it yesterday. The fireplace will be back. When it's Christmas, we have the fireplace. And the Christmas tree goes up on the United stand. OWNC says, I was at the Fulham match today. We were thrashed. I'm quite surprised about Fulham. At the start of this season, there was... I really thought Fulham were going to do a lot better than they have. And I know they've only just been promoted and it's a little bit unfair because teams like Wolves have done exactly what I thought Wolves would do. I actually think Wolves could finish in the top 8. I certainly think they'll finish in the top half. Liverpool, that's it. Mane, this is going to be a goal for sure. How does he not finish that, Wijnaldum? Oh, why didn't he just blast it? Or Mane. Why didn't they just blast that there? That was a chance for Liverpool, that was. How did they not score, says Callum White. What happened to Fabinho, says PS4. Basically sat on the Liverpool bench and got stuck to it. Yeah, just going back to Fulham though. I mean, Wolves are doing fantastically well. Fulham, I thought, would do a lot better, but I think they're probably in that trap of being a newly promoted team with a lot of new players. I don't think Fulham will go down. But I didn't think that they would get beat by Arsenal today. I thought there was a chance that they might actually get a draw today. So I was very surprised. But, you know, it's a bit of a reality check for Fulham. But I thought Fulham, Everton and Wolves would sort of be the surprise packages this season and do quite well. Everton still could. I think Wolves are definitely doing well. I mean, obviously Fulham have got Fosu Mensah from United, who I really rate. That's a good turn by Mahrez. He's absolutely done Robertson there, but his final ball was not good enough. It's starting to stretch again, this game. I'll be amazed if it finishes 0-0. I still think it won't be 0-0. I think if Liverpool get the first goal, City's heads could drop. George Kyle saying that Bakayoko and Fabinho certainly... turned out to be flops. There's a Liverpool injury here. He's going to book Aguero. For a foul on Henderson. There you go. Loose Lid says Sturridge to score the winner at the 85th minute. Max Claydon says you're buying me FIFA, I think. Manchester Skulls 18. They're sort of similar, to be honest. Left-footed, good on the ball, solid defensively. Long let, though, had a 35 million release clause. I think Henderson took a bit of a dive there, and Stuart Collins just saying Hendo could have been killed there. Send him off. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right hand corner. We do watch-alongs on here for the sort of bigger games. And my FIFA career here is on here at the moment as well, so you can watch that. And there's going to be a lot of content with that over the next international break. Silva's done well there to win it off Gomez. He's got no support though, but he does find a pass. I just think there's something about City today. Oh, what the hell was that? Is that Fernandinho? What a prat. I think City are set up quite well, but I think their final third is a bit... I think it misses De Bruyne, doesn't it? It really does. They just look a little bit lightweight. Fabinho is an interesting one, though, because I was the one last summer when we signed Matic saying, I want Fabinho, I want Fabinho, I want Fabinho, I don't want Matic. And I still don't really rate Matic that much. When I say I don't rate him, he's a good player, obviously. He's won titles, he's an international, he's a good player, but I just don't like his lack of mobility, if I'm honest. I think he's too slow for a modern top four side, but Fabinho to not even be in the Liverpool team and still Henderson and Wijnaldum playing, and Fabinho can also play as a right back, and they're playing Gomez there today. That suggests to me that there is an issue with Fabinho, and I don't know what it is. Because I don't follow Liverpool, but I don't know. When will Jose be sacked, says Praveen. I said before the game yesterday, I predicted after Everton at home he'll get sacked, because I think we'll lose to Chelsea, maybe lose to Juventus, and then not beat Everton. I don't know whether we'll lose, but I think then. United have got a very, very difficult October. I mean, I don't know the exact running order, but it's Chelsea away, Juventus, Everton at home, Juventus, Bournemouth away, and then I think it's City at home. They're asking for a penalty there on Van Dijk, but I think he was actually pulled towards it. Not a handball for me. Ooh, and that's a good chance there for Mahrez, and you'd say probably the chance of the game an hour in. Exactly an hour in. Who would have thought it? Right on exactly the 60th minute. Silva with a nice ball through to Mahrez. He gets away from Robertson, gets a little bit of a space. The angles of Alisson are very, very good, and I think Alisson's got all the angles covered because it goes wide and he leaves his hands there. So Mahrez is going, ooh, but Alisson's going, watch it back. I've got the angles covered. But it was close. It was the best chance of the game. Owen Hutchinson, Ultimate Team on FIFA 19 will start on this channel probably on Tuesday. I'm going to finish my FIFA career mode first, and that could be finished conceivably by Tuesday, which means Ultimate Team can start after that. But City are starting to push again now. Cross is coming in here, and it's there's not enough men in the box for City. So Liverpool can start again. But Liverpool got caught. Robertson's not done particularly well. Mahrez into the box. Shoots straight at the keeper. Robertson's had a bad 5 minutes there. And a lot of you were saying that he was doing quite well. I think he's a good left back. But he's been caught out a couple of times there by Mahrez. And Liverpool, for the home team, they need to step it up a little bit. And here they are on the attack with Firmino, but he's very, very wide. Salah into the box. Ooh, straight into the keeper's arms. The Edison Printer, 500. Johnny Wiggs says, please play pro clubs. I don't even know how to do pro clubs. Like pro clubs, is pro clubs me setting up a team and then having to find out who's good players to play it? Because if that's what it is, if that's what pro clubs is all about, I don't have the time for that. If pro clubs is somebody else setting up a good team and me playing in it, I have got the time for that. But I haven't got the time for me to be setting up. Salah is off it, says One White. Yeah, but you know what? It's unfair to call Salah a flop in a game like this because... And I'll defend him because Mane's not been on it. Aguero's not been on it. This is what happens when you get two teams who don't want to lose playing each other at the top of the league right near the start of the season still. It's not a fast-flowing game. It's not a free-flowing game. It's a very tight game. And there's a lot of good players in it. But here is Salah. He's got Mendy. And they've got a foul here. Oh, I think it's a... I tell you what, he's given out more cards than MasterCard Atkinson today to Man City. I don't see how that's a yellow card on Mendy. I mean, the linesman's looking straight at it. He probably just wants a bit of bum love from the bloody Liverpool fans. And I say bum love because the linesman's bum is facing the fans and they'll all be cheering him behind his back. But unlike the other linesman, who was getting a lot of nasty bum love in the first half when he gave the throw-in away. But... I thought that was a little bit soft, but it's a good position. It's a good position. Pulled his shirt, says are up to TTV. Cross comes in. Tell you what, John Stones and Laporte have been very impressive as well. Well, that's very impressive from Kyle Walker. That's speed for you. Bloody hell. No foul. Play on. He made a mistake there. He should have pushed it. He should have pushed on down the line. He did really well, and then he tried to do the Ronaldo chop, not realising that Jordan Anderson was right behind him. Johnny Wiggs says opinions on Gerrard's slip. It's up there with one of my highlights of the last sort of my life. It was funny. That was Mourinho, wasn't it? That was the Mourinho masterclass. I need a Lemsip after this. I'm flagging that initial burst of Aguero's coming off. So no goals at Anfield in 10 appearances. Amazing, isn't it? It must be annoying as a striker though when you must have those sort of things where Anfield's a well-known ground in world football, and as a striker who's scored loads and loads of goals, to never have scored at Anfield must be a bit of a shame. At least it's not his home ground. That would be, if you've never scored at your home ground, that becomes a problem. But yeah, Liverpool have done sod all in this game, in an attacking sense. Very, very little, which is why I think they'll probably go on and win it. Because for the home team, they've just not created enough. And you look at another free kick here on Gomez. You look at Liverpool, I thought he was going to book him again. He was going for his cards again. I think he's ran out. You look at Liverpool normally, and they're creating like 20 chances a game. Salah's got the chance for a free kick. This is one thing that Liverpool are a lot better now at, because they have Van Dijk and the best centre-back in the world, Lovren. Imagine if Lovren scores, he'll love it. Salah, it's too much height on that. Chelsea played Southampton, Santiago Castillo, and they won 3-0. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, ding. It's that old classic. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. Offside. Well, this 0-0 that I said was never going to happen could sit me down here. It really could. It really could. There's not been a goal. No, it's 0-0. If you're asking me for a prediction, I just think this, if Liverpool were to win this, their fans would probably find it more satisfying than winning 3-0. Because it's like, this is how you win titles. If you win this game, this is how you win titles, because you don't play particularly well. Goal kick. Martin Atkinson's applauding his linesman for giving a goal kick. He's definitely a Liverpool fan. Oh, good control by Salah. Oh, I tell you what. Maybe he's not on song, because that control was good by Salah. He's got the opportunity with Edison Printer coming off his line to put it over him, and it's half a chance, but it's a good ball forward by Robertson. I think Edison thinks it's going to roll through. If he got his height right, he could have had that. How did he miss, says Callum White. Klopp's reaction was, "You're shit, well done. You're shit, well done." It's that old reaction when you really know he's shit, but you realise the cameras are on you. And Klopp's reaction to Salah's shot there was, "You're shit, well done." If you didn't see it. It wasn't the miss of the century. Come on. He should have chipped it. It was still a very... If he'd scored it, it would have been one... Everyone would have gone, what a world-class goal. So if you miss it, you can't say miss of the century. Gabriel Jesus gives Liverpool gives City a little bit more pace up front. Henry Bob, Salah he's definitely off this season. Of course he is, but said Jamie says, "I've just packed Martial Ultimate Team. That's a lovely jubbly 40k. I don't know anything about Ultimate Team. I've got to read about it. So you can sell players, I presume. I don't understand where this 40k sort of thing comes from. I've got to have a look, haven't I? See how it goes. I think Sane should come on for Sterling. But with 20 minutes to go, I don't know. A lot of people saying Salah is a one-season wonder. I don't think he will be. I think I don't think he obviously is not going to emulate what he did last season. I don't know why that is, because I'm not a Liverpool fan. I don't know why that is. I think what somebody said before the game could be right, that the injury is a bit of a problem for him, psychologically maybe. Plus also, you do get figured out a little bit more. You do get figured out a bit in the second season. Of course you do. Cam says this is Salah's level, though. He's had one great season, but this is his level. Well, I'd be surprised if it was his level, considering I think both Barcelona and Real Madrid, if they'd have had any indication that Liverpool were willing to sell him, they probably would have paid 150 million for him. So that's good work. Starting to get a bit ragged from City at the moment. Here he comes. Sturridge tends to be a match winner. This gets people excited. Firmino very, very quiet in this game. The danger with Sturridge at the moment is you give him an inch, he takes a yard. Salah was very good for Roma, Paul Young. Living in the land of the common people, trying as hard as the fans I can. And she can. Why? Simon Johnston says this game is awful. I bet you're glad you watched it with me. I've got to give a big shout out to George Kyle, because I did my FIFA stream this afternoon and I'm dosed up on Lemsip and not feeling particularly well, and I was like, I'm not going to do the watch along in my mind. And George Kyle, who's the moderator, was like, please do the watch along, please do the watch along. And I've done it, and I think we've all had a good time, haven't we? In a game that we were all going to watch, you would have been sat there watching it, a little bit bored, and actually we've whizzed through it, haven't we? We've whizzed through a boring game, having a good time. KYSKI has said opinions on Sunderland, Mark. Oh, do I answer him? He obviously has never had my opinions on Sunderland before, have you? Do I answer him? Is it fair? He might be from Sunderland. Is it fair to put him down in front of 1,000 people watching? Look, my opinion on Sunderland is... Oh, Liverpool are on the attack here. You might get saved. What is City doing passing out from the back? They're like me at FIFA 19. City are like me. I never hit the square button. I'll always pass out from the back. Now they've got a break. He needs to use the pace there of... oh, good tackle that is. That is the world's best centre-back there, Lovren. Yeah, Sunderland, as a United fan, I was absolutely delighted that you ended up with 2 relegations after what you did to us when Aguero scored that goal and you did the Poznan. It's justice in the best possible sense. So I was ecstatic. Let's just keep it at that. City do move the ball around very well in tight spaces though. They've got players with such a low centre of gravity. And it's almost magnet football. And here they are on the attack. Cross comes in. They've still got it in the box. Shot saved by Alisson. There's a begrudging respect about how they use the ball. You know, we've got people like Mata at United, and he hasn't got that, what they've got. It's trained into them, isn't it? This ability to move the ball around and keep it so close to them in a low centre of gravity. Alisson better than De Gea. Get out. De Gea saved Mourinho's job yesterday as well. That chance that Muto had. Nobody will ever think of Muto, the Japanese forward for Newcastle, but 2-0 up United. Newcastle were. Cross comes in. He's on the 6-yard box with a header. I mean, it was sort of straight at De Gea, but the pace on it mainly was a good save. But if that goes in, United have lost. You know, people talk about the chances we missed, but 3-0, you're not winning from 3-0. It's game over. Sane's coming on, says Jay the Legend. He is. This is looking like a 0-0. I think if somebody wins it from this point, it would be significant in the championship race. I didn't think today would be, but if somebody wins it from this point, I think because it is basically a draw, psychologically, if you end up winning this game, it could be massive for the other team. You know, if Liverpool were to lose this, they'd be like, oh God, we've lost at Anfield and we should have at least got a point. If City lose it, they'll be like, we put so much effort in, and really, you know, from City's point of view, they've nullified Liverpool today. As I said, Liverpool normally would have 20 plus chances at home. Obviously, they don't score them because they don't win 20-0, but they would have normally had about 20 chances in this game, in a game at Anfield, and they haven't had that. So City's defensive display has been very good. If they were to now lose it because of a late goal, they'd be like, oh, you know, especially Pep would be like, how do I beat him? I play open, I lose. I have a disciplined display, I lose. That's a good turn. That's skills. And that's a throw-in. Lionel Vigas says Liverpool are overhyped by the media. I mean, I haven't watched many Liverpool games this season, to be honest with you. I watched Chelsea last week, and I think I watched maybe one other. But a lot of people were saying to me at the start of the season, I mean, that's Lovren there. He hits Jesus in the face. Is that a penalty? I tell you what, that's a foul outside the box. It would be soft in the box. How Sane got the room there. I don't think you're ever going to give a penalty for that, to be honest. Whoever you support, Martin Atkinson, doesn't matter if you're a Fulham fan or whatever, whenever Martin Atkinson referees your game, I've said it for years, he's a shit ref. End of. He's a crap ref. He's done United over so many times over the years. But it's not, you know, Liverpool haven't been very good, have they? Mr. Exclusive, I'm with you now. As a United fan, I'm just like, I've always wanted this game to be a draw. I'll tell you what, that was a good cross by Gomez. Sturridge just couldn't get the power on it. Another of his ex-clubs, Sturridge, he was at City, then he was at Chelsea. So we've got about 10 minutes to go. I'd say City are in the ascendancy here at the moment. I mean, you've got to say City, if this was a boxing match, you'd give it to City because they're the away team and they've nullified the home team. But I just don't think Liverpool can go through the whole game without creating a really good chance. Is City on the attack again, though? Tell you what, Lovren's had a good game today. He has. He's had a good game. You know, he should never be one of them people who are just haters on people. You know, I don't want Fellaini at United, but every now and again I'll say he played well today. And I think Lovren's had a good game for them. OWNC, neither team wants to risk a loss. I don't think there's an overcommitment from City to go out and get the win. I think, to be honest with you, I think if City win this game, they'll be favourites for the title, even at this early stage, because they'll be like, well, we're level on points with Liverpool. They've got to come to our place. That's a slight advantage. I mean, it doesn't mean anything at this early stage anyway. Anything can happen and anything can change, but I think Daniel Sturridge is a bit hot. He's taken off his undershirt. Yep, join me tonight at 8 o'clock on the United Stand. I've got a couple of guests on. Sophie is one, and we will be talking. There's lots of things to talk about. United. Zidane's agent apparently saying he doesn't want to come to the Premier League. We'll be talking about the Mourinho situation. I've got a few notes yet. It's going to be a good show. No bullshit is basically the thing. I think it's just very easy at the moment to be a flip-flop as a United sort of outlet. I saw one of the fanzines yesterday going on about, oh, it's the time to get behind the club. I mean, that's fine. That's their opinion. I respect that. But why? I disagree with you. I'm sorry, I disagree. Why are you suddenly like all back in the club now when a day ago you weren't? I just think I don't like flip-flop. I think Arsenal fans invented it with their Wenger in, Wenger out every bloody week. And I just don't like that sort of thing. 10 minutes to go. Why are they trying to attack? Just park the bus, says Dinish. George Kyle with an exclusive. Where do you get your sources, George? You like the Daily Mirror. Will yours be right? Mad Lad says it seems like you hate Arsenal more than Liverpool. Definitely not. I don't hate anybody. That's just not how I roll. I don't hate anybody. I've never rolled like that. Liverpool are the team I always want to not win the league because they're our biggest rival. But as I said, that I've got a lot of respect for Liverpool because there are similarities with Manchester United. That's why we dislike each other so much. Arsenal, there's something mildly cretinous about Arsenal, but that's about it. Frank Davies says Mane to bag the winner. I'm calling it now. And James Miller needs Mane to score for his fantasy. Fantasy football, I hope. Not his fantasy dream tonight. I don't hate Hazard, Paul Young. Well, here is Mane. Tumbling. How many rolls do you want to do, Mane, there for a free kick? Bloody hell. He was desperate for that there. Dave, 123 kid. I think there will be some United signings in January, regardless of who the manager is. Chris Sparks is trying to wind me up. He says, what do you think of Burnley? I'll tell you what, Burnley can fuck off. God, this is boring, says Callum White. Louise is going to gamble and turn off early. She says it's got a draw written all over it. Could be a risk, Louise. The thing I would say is that I didn't have a bet this weekend, DJ United. Just because I was ill, I just ran out of a lot of time to do the things that I normally would have done. I just think Liverpool, being the home team, you would expect them to get a goal. Sane into the box. Van Dijk. Penalty! Well, that to me didn't look like a penalty, and it is a penalty to Man City. Sane, Klopp's not happy. Well, he's showing his teeth, which normally means he's not happy. I think there's been a few close penalty decisions, but I can't for the life of me think that Van Dijk here would do... Well, he has. The ball doesn't move. It's a silly... He doesn't need to do it. Oh, it is a penalty. It is a penalty. Don't really understand why he puts the tackle in there. So, Mahrez misses. He hasn't missed. He hasn't took it yet. He does miss, though. Straight over the bar. Pep is gutted. So the draw is still there. It's one of the worst penalties you're ever going to see. He's going to get bantered for that. It goes miles over. It's a shit penalty. You should never put it over. It's well over as well. It's crap. Oh, why is he taking... Wait a minute. It doesn't bother me. Why is he taking penalties? That is... The technique on that as a penalty is absolute shite. And Liverpool come up the other end now. That will probably give him a bit of a boost. That, for me, in that sort of a situation, why is David Silva not taking the penalties? I haven't seen anyone in the live comments. Frank Davies says the Mane winner is still on. I didn't see anyone in the live comments say that, but why is David Silva not coming up and just stroking it, placing it? That exactly. Juan White says it. David Silva should have took that penalty. That Mahrez penalty is crap. He's just blasted it. But, as I said, I can't see this game going without Liverpool creating a chance, a decent chance at home. Get your cacao, coconut milk or oil. That's what they're promoting on the telly. Official partner of Liverpool FC. Yeah, I can't see Liverpool going through this game and not creating a chance. It would be... You'd have to moan about that if you're a Liverpool fan. City have had their big chance. Yeah, you don't have a bigger chance than a penalty. Will Liverpool get their big chance? I think Mahrez. Henderson. Cross coming in. Cleared. Silva with the little flick. 87 minutes. Mahrez level is Leicester, says Faison Chowdhury. I was always very pleased when Man City signed him, to be honest, because knowing what Man City can do, I was like, I don't see Mahrez as a player that makes me scared at all. And to be honest with you, he certainly isn't a player that's going to cost Liverpool anything tonight, is he? Gabriel Jesus wanted to take it, and Mahrez was the man to take it. It's a crap penalty. It's such a crap penalty. If that goes in, there's no technique to it. He's just blasting it. And when I say it's a crap penalty, well, obviously it's a crap penalty because he missed it. But what I'm saying is, it's the fact that he just blasts it. It deserves to go over the bar if you blast it. If you score it, there's no technique to it. A penalty taker should put the ball where they want it to go. And then if the keeper makes the save, you've got no complaints because the keeper's guessed right. But if you're blasting a penalty at this level, that's not a technique, is it? VJ Deep says he can see the Scouse pricks winning the league. I think if they get a winner here in the next few minutes, there'd be the confidence you would take from that, from not really being in the game, to and a team missing a penalty as well. Yellow card for Wijnaldum. I think that's the first booking for a Liverpool player. Yeah, Juan White, you're right. God, I need a Lemsip. I'm faded. Me in the second half compared to me in the first half. I'm starting to feel cold. Don't worry, bit of Lemsip. I'll be back at 8 o'clock on the United stand. Buzzing on the Lemsips. 90 minutes gone. I think it's looking like 0-0, innit? How many minutes? 3 minutes. 3 minutes is nothing. You don't normally only get 3 minutes in the Premier League. You normally get at least 6. Archie says Liverpool are shocking. I think City, Pep has shown how you play against Liverpool today. But the thing they failed at is they didn't take the chance, did they? They got that chance. Everybody behind the ball, cutting out the spaces. I think Liverpool always struggle against teams that sit back against them and hit them on the break. But they've opened up an opening here. It's a decent cross. Ooh, that's a good header away by Man City because it was a good cross by Gomez. It had exactly the right pace on it into right area. Pepper's done a Mourinho, says Lionel Vias. Come on, Liverpool, says Adam Lallana. What's happened to Lallana? Is he still injured? He's not on the bench, is he? Red Jedi says Liverpool are going to nick a win. Well, if they score now, that's it. It's a long throw in. Headed out. I think, well, let's wait for this cross to come in. I think the two centre-backs for City have been very, very good. Laporte and Stones. Less than 60 seconds left. I think that's going to be it. There's a free kick to Man City here. A lot of Scousers getting up and going. It's not a bit bad. Look, you know what? It's the best result personally as a United fan. It's the best result for Arsenal. It's the best result for Chelsea. It's the best result for City. It's probably the best result for the Premier League in general. Is it a terrible result for Liverpool? No. Is it a terrible result for City? I think it's a slightly better result for City because they're the away team. But it's not the end of the road for anything Liverpool are hoping to do in the league. Of course it's not. It's, you know, they're on the same point. So I think a win for either team would have been obviously better for them, but for everybody else, the point is what everyone would have hoped for. And that's what it ends with. Anyway, I've got so much to do, folks, so much to do, so I'm going to get off, but I'm live on the United Stand at 8 o'clock. Thanks, everyone, for watching. If you didn't watch my FIFA stream, I did that earlier on. It's on this channel, episode 10, I think it was, of the FIFA stream. I'll be doing that again at 1 o'clock tomorrow as well on this channel. So thanks, everyone, for watching. Join me on the United Stand at 8 o'clock, not too long. See you soon.